Welcome back to Corey on the Mic. I'm delighted to have another guest here with me for another interview. He is a Northampton-based artist. You may recognize him from a show called The Voice. He's just come off tour as a support act for Scouting for Girls, and he's about to get back out there on a headline tour for his second album, whilst in the midst of making a third. I'm delighted to announce our special guest, Billy Lockett. Billy, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. You?
Yeah, really good. I can see you're out on the road, quite literally. Whereabouts are you right now?
Yes, I'm in Northampton, where I live and where I'm from, and I'm just outside a lovely coffee shop called Old Grocery,
Oh,
which is
well,
kind of one of a local gem in the town.
is coffee something that you need to keep you going? Is it coffee's quite a staple in my life. I need to have it regularly.
Yeah, coffee is yeah, I mean I'm an addict with pretty much everything. And now I'm teetotal, so coffee is my only vice. So I'm massively ODing on it.
Well, maybe straight after this interview, you can go and grab yourself one. And
Yeah, so yeah.
so my first question is, it's not long since you've actually just come off tour as a support act and you're about to get back out there on your own tour. What's that in-between process been like? Have you had a lot of time to yourself, or has it just been kind of non-stop?
To be honest, it has been non-stop because I kind of randomly had a sort of a big viral moment over the last week or so, and so everything has kind of just like kicked off again. And also, because I make all my own music, I never really stop, really. And it's kind of out of choice. I want to keep working. I'm totally, you know, the addict in me is completely obsessed with working. So uh, I think when I have downtime, I get a bit miserable. So this is my way of keeping my brain happy and ticking over.
It certainly seems like you're fresh in people's minds, especially with this viral moment. Could we talk a little bit more about that? What was the viral moment?
Yeah, so it's basically just me and my mum just in a kitchen talking about how badly everything's going. Well, no, not bad. No, everything's going very well, but it's like we basically are very honest and we talk about the ticket sales, and we're living at a time when it's like extremely hard to sell tickets for tours. Every tour I've ever done has sold out. Um, and this one just massively didn't.
Okay.
And I think we'd done like, 20 or 30 tickets on the first week, which was, terrifyingly bad. And I thought to myself, well, why not? Because everyone's always faking it till you make it and having to pretend how well everything's going. Oh, we're nearly sold out, all this rubbish. And it's kind of like, well, we're not. So why don't we just say? And so my mum has all the figures and she always tells me the numbers. And this is the first time we've done it this way. Before, I would have the figures and I would constantly keep checking them, and it would just damage my mental health like crazy because I'd just be worrying. Whereas now, once a week, I go to my mum's house. She tells me the figures, and I was like, well, if we just film this, then everyone else's part is like on the journey, and it's a way of promoting the tour without kind of like cheesy selling. And I think everyone just loves the honesty of it, really.
I was literally about to say, I don't think I've ever done an interview where someone's been blatantly honest and been like, yeah, the tickets weren't going great. So, if we're having a bit of a viral moment where we just talk about it. But I love it, and you might find that after that, and maybe even after this interview, who knows, ticket
Yeah.
sales will rise. And yeah, and it's all still exciting stuff. And yeah, just love the
I
honesty
mean,
about that.
I think the beauty of it as well is it's kind of like this sort of underdog story because now they really are selling. Because I think the videos have done like, I think nearly 5 million views in a couple of days now, and so now the tour is starting to really fly, and so it's created this kind of feeling of, oh, we were there when it was failing, you know what I mean? And it's this underdog story from rags to riches kind of thing. Yeah, it's
Mm.
great. It's nice. And also it's a nice way of just like bonding with my mum. And she's like a massive hit. She's like walking around. She's like, I'm famous. I got spotted in a local petrol station, and now and she's like walking differently. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
She's got like a spring in her step.
Well, we all love an underdog story, and that sounds like a really, really hilarious one. On a bit more of a serious note about the music, I know the album Things Are Looking Up and the title track Things Are Looking Up means a lot to you. Why don't you elaborate a little bit about the single, the album, and the process behind creating it?
Yeah, so things are looking up is something that my dad would say to me whenever things were going well. Um, and when I got my first ever tour with KT Tunstall when I was like 18, I mean, this was years ago now, 17 years ago now, I think. Um, he drew me a picture of like these sort of cartoon figures, alien looking figures, all looking up. And essentially they're things, you know, and they're looking up. And I've had it in my studio for well, ever since he died. He died pretty much a year after he drew that. And I've had it in my studio forever. And then I just sort of thought, well, all the songs are about him, so why not call the album Things Are Looking Up and write a song specifically dedicated to that picture and him. And the whole thing's ended up just kind of being a sort of a dedication to him, which is really nice. And it's also ties, it's lovely that it's like me and my mum are having this moment with marketing it. And the main single is all about my dad. It's like it feels like it's this family sort of effort. Even and my dad's helping out with it, even though he's not here.
That's really beautiful, actually. And I love the story about the drawing. That's really,
Yeah.
really nice. From what I was researching about you, the album is self-produced, which is very incredible. And if I'm correct, you re-recorded and reproduced the song Things Are Looking Up. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, literally last minute. I think a couple of days before we'd even ingest. No, I think they'd already ingested one version of Things That Are Looking Up into Spotify, and I listened to it, and I'd done it like a year before, and I've got so much better at production since then. And I just listened. And I was like, oh God, I can make this so much better. And it was my radio plugger, Chris Hesso, my national radio plugger, that was also helping. And he was like, I feel like it could be bigger, and I could have a bigger snare and just a bit more vocals. And so I just sort of transformed it. Took me a couple of days to just kind of rework the whole thing, but so worth it. It's gone from being a sort of an album track to being the big single now.
And hopefully it'll go on to be even bigger and better now that extra work's been put into it, which is really, really nice. Just going off of the self-produced thing, what's one pro and one con about self-producing, and what are the highs and lows of that process?
That's a great question. So one of the pros is that you can literally work on it for as long as you want, and you don't really you can do anything you want, and it doesn't cost any money, and you can really 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 keep going. Like sometimes I can work on it for months and months and months and months. The downside is that sometimes you can work on it for months and months and months and end up making it worse. I think that's the problem. So there are tracks that I've done where I've been like, oh God, I'm actually overproducing this now. And I've ended up killing the magic that I had from the beginning. Um, but at the same time, there's not many cons of it. This is genuinely the best thing I ever did in my life. Like I will never regret this. It's given me a purpose. I think it's one of the main reasons why I've been able to, get sober is because I've got this now where I can just. It's like a best friend, and every second I have, I can just go down into the cellar and just make some weird thing. And you feel like you're completely in control. Like any sound I have in my head, I can make. And now I'm just transforming any idea I've ever had because I've been writing songs since I was like 15, but they would always just end up being just voice notes on my phone and wouldn't go anywhere. Whereas now I can produce properly. I'm like, oh my God, I could like turn It's almost like when you get when you get like a pressure hose for the garden. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done like an air pressure hose in the garden?
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
Where
it
you,
is
where you
so
just go
satisfying.
for it, yeah.
Yeah, and you just end up transforming everything in your garden. You're like, oh, I'm gonna see what this ornament actually looks like. Well, and you end up transforming your whole garden. So essentially, that's kind of what it's like with production. I'm seeing all these old songs that were just ideas that went nowhere, and now I'm turning everything I have into a sort of a polished, finished product. It's a dream.
Obviously, you've been working on a third album whilst you were about to tour this one and whilst you've been doing the support tour. Will there be any sneak peeks of this third album, or is this strictly Things Are Looking Up, the tour?
Yeah, I mean, so the tour is strictly Things Are Looking Up and first album. It's kind of like and older songs as well. It's kind of just a medley of all of my biggest songs over the last 10 years. Um, but in terms of the third album, I mean, I'm scared to even put a snippet out just in case AI takes it and makes a song out of it. So I'm really kind of like nervous about posting anything until it's out now, or even playing anything live until it's out now. Uh, So yeah, no, it's all going to be it's going to be a lot of older songs.
One thing that really resonated with me about you when doing my research into what you've done, as somebody who is neurodiverse, and if you don't mind me asking, you're neurodiverse as well, aren't you? Correct me if I'm
Mhm.
wrong.
Yeah,
I looked into your work in your hometown of Northampton and your work with neurodiverse music groups. Um, During that process, did that teach you anything about yourself, or how did that
yeah.
come about? Or just to talk me through a little bit about what you got out of that and how that all came to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, I actually still work with them. There's a group called JH Norpal that is adults with learning difficulties, all sorts of things, Down syndrome, autism, Asperger's. I mean, like it pretty much, they're all very neurospicy people, but like to the extremes. But they're all my best mates. Like I literally hang out with them like every week. This isn't like it's not like a sort of a random. I do a bit of like community work. Like I play snooker with them on every Tuesday. It's bowls on Wednesdays. Like we do a pub quiz on a Monday night. Um, and yeah, they're my favorite people. They're my favorite people in the world, and they genuinely are really good mates of mine. Um, I feel very lucky. It's weird. I almost can't really imagine how I was ever happy before I met these guys. They just it's an interesting thing with these guys because they never seem low, they never seem down. It's always all right, mate. How's it going? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know what it is, but they're so happy, and it kind of makes me feel bad when I'm feeling a little low because I'm just like, man, like because these guys have tough lives.
It just goes to show that you can find positivity anywhere, really. And it seems like they're a
Yeah,
really good support system for you, not just you, them.
yeah,
It's a return thing, a two-way thing. And that's
completely.
really,
Yes.
really wonderful. Have you used your time with them to explore different kinds of music, maybe from making music together or?
Yeah, well, they have a performing room that they basically go to every Thursday and just kind of like play music and sing and things. To be honest, I don't really go to that much, and I think maybe it's because I like to keep it separate. There's something about them that sort of is my like escape from music and careers and things like that. And this is just like me being able to hang out with my mates. So I sort of take. I mean, don't get me wrong. They'll come up on stage and sing with me when we do gigs and they're there. I always get them all up and sing along, and that is chaos because everyone's singing a different part of the song at the same time. But but yeah, I try and keep it separate intentionally.
That
Yeah.
sounds really healthy, actually, because we've all got to make sure we have those kind of boundaries. And
Yes.
what's your relationship like with fame and the public eye, and how do you find all of that?
Oh, sometimes it can just get in the way of everything, and it can end up poisoning your work, and you can sometimes forget why you even did this in the first place. I'm doing this because I really like making noises with my face. It's not like I'm saving any lives. Do you know what I mean? It's like we don't need more music. I'm just doing it because I want to. You know what I mean? And if people want to listen, then cool. It's not really much deeper than that, to be honest.
You don't know
Uh,
how many sound bites I've got already from this. I've got noises with my face. I've got, yeah, the tickets weren't selling, so we did a viral moment. This is brilliant. I'm loving
yeah,
this.
yeah,
One thing that I do like to ask artists that have the opportunity to play on big stages and smaller ones. I've seen the venue list of your tour. You've got the Deaf Institute in Manchester, which I've been to before. You've got the Castle and Falcon in Birmingham. Do you have a preference on venues, and do you prefer the smaller, intimate ones? Do you prefer having like a big stage and a big audience? What's your relationship
yeah.
like with that?
I'm comparing sort of 200 cap venues to an arena. Always the 200 cap venue every time. Um, I know my manager wouldn't want me saying that financially, but but personally, in terms of an experience, yeah, the small ones are the ones because I feel like you can hear everyone singing along, and someone will shout something funny out, and you can hear the joke, and you can reply to it, and you can kind of just you can feel like they're in your living room a little bit more. Whereas an arena, sometimes you kind of feel like you're playing in front of nobody because you can't really see anything that's going on.
Is there any particular venue that you've never done before that's on your mind as one particular one that you're excited for? Like, yes, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I think Deaf Institute actually is probably one of the most exciting ones, just because we were supposed to do it last tour, and I think they had a problem. They had like a flood, or there was something. some problem with the venue, so that we had to be moved to this different one, and it was a real shame because I was really looking forward to that. So now we finally get to play it properly this time round. So yeah, that's probably the one I'm most excited for, even though it's actually the one that sold the least tickets. But I've got hope. I've got hope.
I've been to the Deaf Institute actually, and it's small, but it's very intimate, and
Yeah,
the vibe of it's brilliant. So you'll have the time of your life performing there, I'm sure. It
yeah,
was
I
it was a
love
lot
it.
smaller than I was expecting it to be when I
Yeah,
went, but it was
yeah.
great. So yeah, you're gonna really, really enjoy it. I have one last question. Your In terms of if you could collaborate with anyone, obviously you've dedicated this album to your father. If he could say to you, "I really want you to collaborate with this artist," who's his dream collab?
His dream collab be? I mean, it could be maybe Bob Dylan. I think would probably be one of his favorite. It was one of his favorite artists, or Cat Stevens. And he was obsessed with a band called Free, which not many people have ever heard of. Do you know Free? They
I've
did a
heard of
song,
I've heard of Free.
yeah, so probably one of those three, like something from the 70s, basically.
I'm going to start a petition and I'm going to write to people and I'm going to get you to perform with Free. That's the goal.
Great. Well, they're all dead though, so it's going to be a tough one. No,
Oh,
I'm kidding. They're not. They're not. They're
oh,
not.
okay.
They're not.
I thought oh no, that was so. Imagine. Oh my God.
Oh, amazing,
See, because I heard of
amazing.
Free, but I don't know them that well. So
Yeah, no, no.
there we go. All right. Well, it all sounds like really exciting stuff. Your tour's on the way. You've just been a support act. You're about to go back out again. You've got a third album. All really exciting stuff. So
Yeah, man. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to chat.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. See ya.